Structure of contractile protein. Polymer of monomeric G-actins forms F-actin, which is filamentous actin, and two of these filamentous actin forms actin. Tropomyosin filaments also run along the length of this filamentous actin. This tropomyosin filament is made up of troponin. This is a complex protein which masks the binding site of myosin, and you can see in the diagram how this tropomyosin is formed by troponin. Myosin is also a complex made up of meromyosins. Meromyosin have globular head, a short arm and tail. This portion is known as heavier meromyosin and other portion is known as lighter meromyosin. In the diagram of meromyosin, you can see head, the cross arm and the tail. This head is an ATPase enzyme which is a binding site of ATP as well as active site for actin. Mechanism of muscle contraction. It is explained on the basis of sliding filament theory. CNS sends signal through a motor neuron. This signal reaches to neuromuscular junction, and upon this neuromuscular junction, a neurotransmitter acetylcholine is released. This generates action potential in sarcolemma, which leads to release of calcium ions, and thus troponin binds to these calcium ions. When this troponin binds to the calcium ions, here we have studied that what troponin do? Troponin masks the binding site of myosin. So when this troponin is binding to calcium ions, now the active site of myosin is free and it gets energy from the hydrolysis of ATP, and thus myosin head binds and cross bridge is formed. You can see in the diagram that cross bridge is forming, then sliding and rotation is happening, then breaking is happening, and again cross bridge is happening. It's a circular rotatory pathway. When this cross bridge is formed, it leads to movement or pulling of thin filament. Hence, Z line is also pulled, thus shortening the sarcomere, and shortening of sarcomere leads to contraction. Similarly and simultaneously, on the other hand, the myosin releases ADP and PI, hence relaxation is occurring. So this contraction and relaxation simultaneously leads or tells us about the mechanism of muscle contraction. The deposition of lactic acid leads to pain and inflammation in muscle, and it is usually seen in case of athletes that they face severe cramps and pains. That is due to this continuous repetition of cycle which leads to formation and deposition of lactic acid.